The ACC just did possibly the funniest thing in the history of college sports and signed a TV deal with the CW. This is Locked On Baylor.
You are Locked On Baylor, your daily podcast on the Baylor Bears, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Locked On Baylor. I'm Drake Toll from Sports Illustrated. Thank you for making Locked On Baylor your first listen every single day. Breaking news in college athletics. We'll get to the Big 12 Media Days recap. We'll get to Dave Aranda. We're going to hear from him, the best sound bites from his press conference. And there were some really good ones, especially after the passing of his father. But, man, it's a damn good day to not be affiliated, have a conference that's affiliated with the CW. The ACC has inked a deal with the CW to display not just some throwaway sports, might as well be at this point, but actual college football games on the CW. My mind is blown. I think the thing that truly sent me over the edge is the press release the ACC put out. Here's what it says. ACC football and basketball coming to the CW network this fall. First and foremost, think about this. Food critics. When's the last time there was a food critic who's like, you know what? I'll say it. I really like Long John Silver's. There's the association game, man. You as a food critic don't want to associate yourself with Long John Silver's because you want to have a brand, have a taste. It's better than that. The ACC said, we're fine with Long John Silver's. We'll sign a deal with them. The association now of the ACC with the CW is embarrassing, right? Windy Woo, Homecoming Warrior, and All-American, and, Walker. These TV shows, reruns of One Tree Hill that go on the CW, that's where you're putting your sports. You've decided that, we have a 20-year deal with ESPN through 2036. But what if we had some games on the CW, Live Golf has done it. Live Golf went to the CW, and that has just not worked out for them. Frankly, most of the broadcasts have stunk. People do not watch them. They've had to cut it off for reruns of shows before because the entire thing is just bad. And the ACC said, oh, yeah, we'll do that. Right after 7 teams in your conference said they kind of want to leave your conference, your response to them was, yeah, well, what if we could give you the CW? Huh? No one is excited about this except for the ACC, announcing that they are excited to have exclusive broadcast rights with the CW for 50 ACC college football and basketball games each season through 2026, 2027. Maybe the worst part of this whole deal is our brother who got thrown into this, Cincinnati. The first game that'll be on the CW is Pitt and Cincinnati on September 9th. Non-conference game, Big 12 ACC. It is, I don't know what primetime is on the CW. I don't know what that even means. Can't imagine you put an 11 o'clock game on the CW. God bless. It's already bad enough. And now you're going to have Pitt Cincinnati. Maybe it's an experiment. It's a terrible one. You don't experiment with Long John Silver's. You're sitting on the loo for 4 days, regretting that you ate it. The ACC commissioner, Jim Phillips, Dr. Jim Phillips, by the way, said, we are thrilled to be adding the CW to our weekly thrilled. I, a food critic, just got done at the best steakhouse in the world. Diners, dive-ins, and dives, whatever it is. Like, shoot. I would be thrilled to eat some Long John Silver's right now. What are we doing? Why? Why was this needed? What was the point of putting all 15 member institutions of the ACC on the CW? You just saw the Pac-12. You just saw another food critic. You're sitting around having drinks, the Pac-12 and the ACC. Pac-12 says, hey, What if we went to dinner at Long John Silver's? You know how funny that would be? And the ACC laughed and laughed. The Pac-12 said, yeah, we're desperate. Nobody likes our food reviews, but we're still not going to eat. Still not going to eat at Long John Silver's. And the ACC thought, there's an idea. I'm going to take my brand that's so good, has been so good, Duke and UNC and Florida State and Clemson, national championships. I'm going to take this great thing that I built, and I'm going to show you that all it's worth is Long John Silver's, is the CW, is brand endorsement, brand deals, bringing two brands together, the ACC and the CW, that dilute what the ACC is. Is that what you wanted? In the midst of your conference already in danger of falling apart, the Big 12 this week got together and had a rally of 14 teams, and 12 of them have displayed in the last 2-3 days that they are strong, really strong together. Your commissioner got on stage and proved that he is one of the best in college athletics, said he has a plan for expansion. And in response to all of that, as the Big 12 had its shining moment, the ACC wanted to steal the spotlight. They did today. For me, they led the show. They stole the spotlight by partnering with the CW to broadcast those games. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to. The Pac-12 could have stayed the laughingstock of expansion and realignment. They could have. We could have kept having conversations about how Colorado's going to go to the Big 12. But now, what do you think Clemson's thinking? What do you think Dabo Swinney's thinking? People forget sometimes the amount of humanity that is in these decisions. There are real people making these calls, and there are real people involved. You think Dabo Swinney's wife? They're talking about it, and she's like, "Oh, saw the conference sign a deal with the CW. What do you think?" And I've got a pretty good idea what he thinks. I've got a pretty good idea how those conversations are going. A pretty good idea that when he runs into his buddies, it's funny. Like, oh, man, can't wait to watch you and NC State play on the CW. And the ACC could have just not. That would have been an option. ESPN Plus, no shame in that. No. So many teams and people, games on ESPN Plus, good content. Just do it. Just be on ESPN Plus. No. We're going to the CW. We're going to follow Live Golf, one of the most controversial sports stories in America, and be on this remote TV channel. It kind of becomes a game when March Madness is on, Lifetime, TBS. TBS is pretty big. It's on the one that's just stupid and off the wall. One of those. Everybody's like, oh, I wonder if I have this channel. Got to go find it. Where is it? It's funny, right? Because everybody wants to watch March Madness. I don't think very many people are going to track down the CW to watch Virginia and Wake Forest play a football game. I don't. ESPN Plus, it's right there. Okay, sweet. CW, not looking for it. And I don't know anybody who's got a cable package anymore. Legitimately just has a cable package in general, much less one that includes the CW. The Big 12, I can't even. The Big 12's coming. The Big 12's coming. They will take everything you've got. There's a mutiny. Pirates are boarding my ship. The ACC, those 7 teams that don't want to be there, and the other 7, the Big 12 is going to get somebody, because at this point, you threw up all over yourself by signing a deal with the CW. You know what? I didn't throw up all over myself, though, because I went right now to a championship team. And for a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle, and every part needs the right fit. Next time you need parts or accessories, go to eBay Motors. I personally love eBay in general. It's where I get most of my clothes. True story. Very cheap, reasonable, always quality. eBay delivers that. With eBay's guaranteed fit, you can have every part you need and make sure it fits right the first time around. Add your ride, take your car, my Nissan Maxima, my 2016 Nissan Maxima. I add it to eBay Motors. I go to my garage, look for the green check to know what part to fit, or you get your money back. If it doesn't fit, you get your money back. It's just like in sports. Confidence is the name of the game when you shop at eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts, I can't even count that high. Got 122 million parts to choose from. You'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy. It's easy. You bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, the right prices at ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit. Only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only, and exclusions apply. All right. Big 12 Media Day is going on right now. I love it. I love that as the Pac-12 is over there sucking its thumb, just, Bambi, mother has been shot. Nothing is going right for us in the world. That there's over there in the other corner, the opposite corner of the room, is the ACC, like one strong, got a real Benjamin Button thing going on, opposite maybe. So just like a normal Button thing, like starts young, starts real hip and spunky, and then just gets old and gross. And they're in opposite corners, each crying all over them. So somebody needs to change their diapers. And the Big 12 is just like, hey, nobody really liked us. We weren't supposed to exist. We kind of are cool now. Kind of got invited to the party, And we're going to have our own little media days here. And you guys, the ACC in that corner, you can crap on yourself over there. The Pac-12 in that corner, you can keep crying. We're just going to go display our prominence in front of all college football. Love the media coverage, dude. Love the media coverage. I worked at Sikkim 365 for a couple of years. Follow along with 365 Sports. Great media coverage this week. Unbelievable. Covered it wall to wall. The BYU TV, insane. Unreal. ESPN Plus. Don't know who that guy was. They had some people up. They had some names there. I was like, never heard of you. But they liked Baylor. And I can deal with that. The one guy that predicted Baylor and Iowa State to be in the Big 12 championship is nuts, dude. Nuts. Thank you very much. I tip my hat to you. And then hearing from Dave Aranda, you hear the multiple interviews of Blake Chapin, and the players, your TJ Franklins, but dude, just Dave Aranda. Could listen to him as negative and dour as I've been so often about Baylor on this show, I get it. I get it. I'm the pessimist of the group. Redheaded stepchild. Then I listen to Dave Aranda and it soothes me. I understand that Baylor's got a good coach, a great man. I miss him. I miss Dave Aranda. I'm excited to come back from Alaska, see Dave Aranda. That's something that entices me. Speaking of, I put together the best bites that we got from Dave at Big 12 Media Days. He talked about the death of his father. Just a really touching opening, talking about how there are two guys who didn't really say I love you very often. But when they did in person and embracing each other after his stage 4 pancreatic cancer diagnosis, all really touching from Dave. And I want to I put together my favorite 10-ish minutes here from Big 12 Media Days and everything Dave Aranda said. And this is just courtesy of Baylor Athletics Gold.
So humbled to be here with you guys. Way appreciative. I know Mac Rhodes is somewhere here, and Javon Overshone from our athletic department. So appreciative of their support. But it's always good to be with you guys. I wanted to start this with really hard lessons from last year. I have to imagine for those of you so inclined, what happened last year. And, it's one of the beautiful things about our sport is that the personal comes out in the professional. And, the faults of just me can that it can happen there too, right? Not only the positive things, but the negative things. And I look at, the last year trying to save people, maybe trying to change people, and not having hard enough boundaries. And, I look at I don't know if it was a hubris or what it was that made me think that I could, but I think people are ready to change or improve when they're ready to. When they're ready to do it on their own. So I think that was a big factor last year. And I think the other was, not using the transfer portal and not embracing it. I think one of the struggles for me has always been if you say yes to something, a player outside of your team that's in the portal, you're saying no to a player on your team, that maybe is struggling from an injury, that's maybe trying to get, his schoolwork in order, that's maybe trying to hone the techniques of this new position that he's playing, or maybe he's trying to gain weight or any of those things. I think that when you bring somebody in, you almost really kind of stunt the growth of that person. And I think for me to kind of come to grips with, hey, this is what needs to happen for the betterment of the team, as opposed to just looking at what's best for that one particular player on your team. And I think we all like to think that, there's going to be just a trajectory of taking off like a rocket ship. But I think we all know that there's the bumps and the pits and the downward arcing in any type of career or a young person's career. And so to say that, hey, we still got you, we still believe in you, but this is what we need to do for the team right now, has been an area of growth for me. To take it to this year, to start the year, really started with person over player, and really focusing in on that and talking a lot about that with our team. And, and starting that with like, hey, we're talking about the whole thing, your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul, is to get that into an alignment, and to get that to where, you know yourself, you can be yourself, you can express yourself, and when it comes time to, you can check yourself. I think to see that our young people today aren't just a cog in a machine, right, to get wins and take home revenue, but are human beings fully formed by God, right? And when we say know yourself, know that, as Paul would say, hidden in Christ with God, and that you can express yourself. So like the sport can be that for you. You can express who you are, and much like an artist does, is have a signature that's all your own. The check yourself part comes, I think, is a huge part of person over player to me, because that you're growing, your self-awareness is improving, right? It's not, the self-awareness for us is not so much whether something's right or wrong, but is this helpful or is this not? Yesterday I felt kind of begrudgingly for this with this person, and I don't want to feel, I know what that feels like now. I don't want to feel like that anymore. So the next time I'm in that situation, I'm going to do this differently, or I'm going to be better with it. And then you work at it, and then you're growing and getting better. And so I just think that these things are way important things, and we spend time with it. Excited with our new coaches and new staff members coming on board. I think they've brought great energy and great connection to our young people, and just really feel a one team, one vision, and I feel that connectedness. We've brought in a fair amount of new players, and the new players have been great fits on the field and off the field, and am excited to be able to see them express themselves and go on just this journey of self-discovery through the season, man, and really show up when it matters most. I know that's why they came here. Excited for the 8 home games, and excited for our schedule, way appreciative of it, and I'm looking forward to playing our best ball when we're at home. McLean Stadium is very special when, a team has earned the right for folks to come in and watch, and we're totally aiming to do that. And so with that, wanted to open it up with questions for you all.
All right, we'll go to center right, 4th row.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Dave, good to see you. First of all, I just really wanted to say, maybe on behalf of the media, offer my condolences on the passing of your father. Sorry that happened. Sorry to bring it up. I wondered if you would just reflect on maybe his influence on you as a man and a coach.
No, I appreciate that. I went and saw my dad when I first heard that he had cancer. And my dad and I it's always been a great relationship. I was never really someone that would say openly, I love you. And I always knew that he did, though. And so I remember when he called me and told me that he had pancreatic cancer and it was stage 4. I told him that I loved him. And he didn't say it back. I don't know if he heard me and so I wanted to go and say it to him face to face. And so I was able to do that. And he gave me a big hug, and I don't know, when you're hugging and everything, you feel like, hey, this is a good hug, and he wouldn't let me go, and he kept really strong. And he told me that he loved me. And I'm so glad that we had that moment, because I know a lot of folks don't have that. And we're going to have a celebration of his life coming up on this Sunday, and there's going to be just so many people that are going to be there that my dad touched, and family members that didn't know they were a part of the family, relatives that needed help and my dad was there for, and just all these things, and just way proud, to be his son. So I appreciate that.
Go to center right.
Dave, Joe Goodman from the Bear Den and Our Daily Bears. In the 3 seasons that you've been a head coach, you've had wildly different circumstances and results, different coaching staffs. What would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned about yourself compared to year 1 now going into year 4?
Appreciate that question. There's a lot that I've learned. I think the best way I can answer your question is that every piece of you, every part of you has to know why you're doing this. Like, what's the reason behind this? What's the, I think we all can see what the short-term goals are, but what's really the long-term goal? What's the legacy you want to leave? What's the reason? Why are you doing this? I think if those things aren't worked out, then your heart can be a mercenary heart, like C.S. Lewis has talked about. And, you just go to the highest bidder and whatever it takes, And so I think to really know, like, who you are, and that takes a lot of work because there's plenty of hiding spots. And so to really know who you are and to be able to express you, is way cool, man. We're trying to get a lot of our team to do that, and I think it's, of all the things that we're doing, I'm most excited about that. And so I appreciate the question.
I was just wondering what steps you see Blake Chapin making this season and how important his success is for the success of your team in 2023.
No, I appreciate that. Very proud of Blake. I feel like I've felt some of the same things. I have to imagine a lot of you guys have you step into an opportunity and it's clicking and you're rolling, and it's not a thought of, man, it's this easy, but it's like, hey, this is pretty good. And then to go upon hard times and to see maybe that there's blind spots the whole time that you didn't even know, and then to address those things and to come out stronger because of it. That's such a cool story. And to come out of it with like a pure heart, not like, I'm gonna prove to you or I'm gonna show you or, this to you or whatever. To not chase approval, but to really work for improvement. Just way cool. And so big fan of his. The team sees that, the guys see that, and they want to work hard for him. And, his growth off the field as a leader and just in terms of just doing all the things has been really good to see. And so I'm expecting big things. I know he is too. There's been a lot of work into it. And I think when you're in a pit, to climb your way out the pit and come out stronger because of it, I think is one of the beautiful things in our sport. And so I want to see him rewarded for that.
That was Dave Aranda from Big 12 Media Days. This guy right here is Drake Toll. Thanks for making Locked On Baylor your first listen every single day. Joe Goodman's going to join on Monday. We'll do a full breakdown of Big 12 Media Days. He was there. He's going to talk to us about it. It's going to be a great show. I'm excited to have Joe on. I was going to do it today, but then the whole ACC thing happened, and I couldn't. It's my Super Bowl. I had to respond to the ACC. So I love you guys. Ever told you that? Yeah, true story. Has been, it always will be. Come back on Monday. Thank you for making it your first listen every single day. Locked On Baylor.